Okay, so here we are with our Ubuntu, macOS, and Windows comparison here. So, we've got a full-screen desktop computer here running Ubuntu 4. And we have here Windows 1909 here. And we have macOS Catalina running right here. So, we're going to go ahead and do part 1 of our comparison, the beginner's part. So this part will be about the not so advanced comparison features about all of these operating systems. So, first, let's compare we're going to compare all of these. So, I've put the Surface here, the MacBook here next to each other so you can easily see them. So, we'll just start with the basic parts. So, every operating system has to have a user interface, or that's short for UI. So, Ubuntu had its own hotbar down there. That's what they call it. The hotbar is a place where all your application logos go. And that goes the same for all of the rest of the operating systems. In Windows, it's called the taskbar. And the taskbar is basically the same thing, except on the far right side, you have your date, time, battery, and notifications. And the start menu, which is a Windows exclusive thing, is on the far left, and you get a start menu on Windows. So, with Ubuntu, you don't get a start menu. Instead, you get an applications list. So, I'll show you right here. Do you see that tiny pad over there? Well, if you do, then that tiny thing over there is the Show Applications button. So, if you click on that, then it means you're going to get a complete view of all the applications on this computer. So, that's similar to the start menu, except without the Microsoft stuff like the tiles or the buttons, like the power button. The power button is on Ubuntu way up in the upper right corner of the screen over here, along with all the other stuff that you might see. So we have your running applications like drives. Like we have pCloud Drive here, we have JetBrains, Toolbox. We have your internet connection here, which is included with all of the power button stuff. So, we're going to continue on at the UI. The top bar is only included on macOS and Ubuntu because you see, there's no top bar on Windows. It's just gone, and you can't change that. So, here on macOS, you can see a top bar, which is right there. So I'm going to move the camera in a bit so you can see easier and zoom it in. So you see where the cursor's pointing? It's pointing way over at Help. And this area is the big options bar in macOS. Every operating system has an options bar, but macOS's bar is unique. And what's unique about it is that it's always there. It's not like with Windows, like that's not an application. It's not like with Windows, it's only there when you launch the application. In Windows, it's only there when you launch the application. It's not always there at the top of the screen because there is no top bar, which is why macOS has a top bar to store all that stuff. And just like Ubuntu, all of your running applications, the date and time, battery, everything, notifications is up here. It's unlike Ubuntu and Windows. Next, be talking about some features of macOS compared to the other operating systems. So, here we have the MacBook. So, desktop shortcuts are a bit complicated in macOS. In Windows, it's just, if you create a shortcut, then it doesn't move the whole thing. It just creates a shortcut there. It's not the whole thing when you can launch it from the desktop shortcut. It's different on macOS though. If you have a Studio One shortcut here, it's not a shortcut. It's an application. So the desktop folder will be clogged with like 30 gigs of stuff if you put applications on the desktop, which is why macOS is not really the optimal application for creating desktop shortcuts and making useful things like quick access or something. And I don't know what's going on with the double tap on this MacBook, but anyway, we're going to zoom back out to the other operating systems now. Get out of here. So, we have more to talk about desktop shortcuts. On Ubuntu, it's the same thing with Windows. You just create a shortcut and it's not the whole application. So macOS is different in that sense. So we're going to look at the file managers now. So without a file manager, the operating system would be of no use. So we're going to first look at Nautilus, the Ubuntu file manager. So here is Nautilus. So I'm going to zoom in on Nautilus right here so you can see it better. So here it goes. We're going to go ahead and look around in here and see what is different between these file managers. So, File Explorer, we're going to launch it, and Finder. I had to come up here. And Finder, I'm going to launch it. Oh, Finder's already launched. Okay, so, just make sure you can see all these. Might not be able to, I might need to adjust it. So, first I'm going to zoom in on Nautilus. So, Nautilus has the usual left location bar, which all of the other file managers have. So, File Explorer has this, the left location bar. I'll show you right here. You can see the left location bar that where the cursor is right now. So, and on macOS, you can see recent selected from the location bar. So we're going to go back to Nautilus. Now, we have our list of files, which is always a thing. No file manager has a list. No file manager has no list of files. Because without a list of files, you would have nothing to see, open, cut, copy, paste. It would be a blank application of no use. So, over here, you can see there's Windows C, pCloud Drive over here. There's always contents in a folder. And over here, we have recents. And you can see all the views in here. Now, only certain file managers have different file views. So, Nautilus has a little bit of views. So if you do this, then you can see visible columns. You can change the view that you would like to see and what you would like to see. But it doesn't include the different view types, like the actual large icons, medium icons that File Explorer has. So if you click on the View tab, I'll go ahead and show you that. So if you click on the View tab that's highlighted right now, then the ribbon will change. And the ribbon is the Windows thing for the toolbar. So you can see extra large icons, which is like, oh my god, I can't stand that setting because it's like super large. So medium icons is not as bad, but I would prefer the small icons thing. The details thing isn't, and the details thing is like the best one. So Finder here doesn't have, well, the Finder here has views, because you see here, let me adjust this thing. Finder, you can see like the button up here. So this, if you click on that, you can choose what you want to see of the details of the application or the file. So, your date last opened, date added, modified, created, size, tags, all of that. So, that's a little bit of the thing, but the only file manager that has the stuff like extra large icons and all that stuff is Windows. So Windows beat everybody on that occasion, but everybody thinks that File4 is just beating up all the other file managers, even like Nautilus. It's like Nautilus is good too, but like File4 is like bam, right there. So let's close that up. Now we're moving on to the browsers. So the browsers is the next step in your operating system. So without a browser, you will not be able to do anything. So you have to have a browser installed on your computer, but most operating systems will come with the default browser. In fact, all came with the default browser. So the default browser for Ubuntu here was, what was it? Firefox. Yes, the default was Firefox. So let's take a look at Firefox and see if it looks different on any of these. So the default browser on Windows is Microsoft Edge, which is really bad right now, but the new Microsoft Edge is going to be really amazing. So let's take a look at Microsoft Edge. Let's actually take a look at Firefox. So Firefox is not installed on the Mac, you see. So I'm going to show all the default browsers. So Edge, and see how they look. So we have Safari here. So Safari is only Apple. You cannot download Safari on any other operating system. It's only Apple. I don't know what's going on. But here we have all of our default browsers. So here we are. So I'm going to give you a quick scan of all of the browsers. So zooming in on Firefox on Ubuntu. So what we have here is a white themed thing. And the white themed background is the same theme as the one on Microsoft Edge here. You can see it's white, but it's black themed on macOS over there. So we're going to take a closer look at Ubuntu. So Firefox will give you messages, and you won't be able to see it because the surface is in the way. So I'm going to move it. So let's take a look at what Firefox wants to say today. And once in a while, Firefox will just give you messages. So you can see messages from Firefox. Watchers, speakers, gaming consoles, all great gifts. Though some protect your privacy more than others. So yeah, Firefox just gives you messages once in a while. And believe me, it does it like every single day. And it's not actually once in a while. It's like all the time. It can sometimes get to be annoying, but you can just dismiss them. And I don't think you can turn them off, which is the real problem. But anyway, we're going to take a look at Microsoft Edge now. So let's go ahead and pan the camera over to Microsoft Edge. So you can see here Microsoft Edge, and you have all of your recent stories, your feed, top sites. Yeah, top sites. The same exact bar from Firefox. So I would say Firefox and Microsoft Edge are pretty similar. So we have here our tab area, which is the same basic controls from Firefox, except Edge has this down arrow button, which is supposed to show you what the tab looks like, a preview of it. But I think that's just bulky, so I don't use it. Now you have your recent searches over here. You have your account, which is always bothering me. And over here, Firefox, your account to get accepted smaller. And there's always some sign in the upper right corner. So now we're going to take a look at our macOS browser, Safari. So I'm going to move the camera. So here is Safari with everything done up, and we have it very blank. You see all the black space down there. So favorites, it's just favorites. There's no like top sites, feed. I feel like Safari is just not very good. It's just so much blank space. And you know what? Let's just type a random query. So there's no tab area. And I'm like, the first time I saw Safari, it was like, are you serious? There's no tab area? Every browser, including Chrome, including Firefox, including Edge, has a tab area. But not Safari. You have to deliberately click the plus button, which is almost completely hid, and sometimes the plus button doesn't even do what you want. So, we're going to type another search. Just random query. So, you can see the tab bar here, but I don't really like that style at all. So, I think the browser who won was Firefox in this browser comparison. So, we're going to take a look at some more things before we conclude this video. There's still a lot more to talk about, but here I'm going to close up Microsoft Edge on Windows. So, let's take a look at settings on all these computers. Now, an operating system without a settings is just the worst. So, let's see which operating system doesn't have settings. But I'm sure all of them will. Let's just see. So, on Ubuntu, let me just, did I already move the camera? I don't think I did. So I'm going to go ahead and move the camera to Ubuntu. So, Ubuntu gets the focus. So, go ahead and look in the upper right corner and you'll see the stuff we talked about earlier. Now, there's more to that. Click on this button. You see a gear symbol. And when you see a gear symbol, that always means that the settings button is nearby. So, let's click on the gear symbol. Well, that proves that Ubuntu has settings. So, like any other settings application, there's a left location bar. Not location bar, but category bar. Like notifications, search, region, online accounts, yes, all of this stuff. So, we have Wi-Fi, the most important part. We have all our things we connected to. We have stuff here. So, we're going to take a look at settings on Windows. So, there's one way and there's two ways to access settings on Windows. The first way is to click the Windows button, then type settings. You don't have to type the whole thing. All you have to type probably SE and then click enter. So, another way is to click settings from here. So, now we're going to look at Windows settings and compare it to Ubuntu settings. So, let's make sure you can at least see, point it down a bit. So, you can see Windows settings right there. So, unlike Ubuntu settings, the categories are all on the home screen and are in the center. There are more categories than there are on Ubuntu, I feel like. There's like 14 categories, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, I guess I was wrong. But it just seems like there's more categories on Windows because it's a busy settings. So, let's go ahead and click on system. So, this is the part that I feel like you're going to use most. Now, I'm warning you, if your computer's not activated, which is the worst part of Windows, which is why Windows is not the ideal choice. If you click on personalization, it's going to say, right here, everything's going to be grayed out. You need to activate your PC before you can personalize Windows. And I do have a machine that says that and gives me a watermark all the time. But I won't flip over a bit. I won't flip over to it, of course, because we already have a Windows device here. So, you can easily change your background stuff here. So, background. There's no specific personalization thing. So, it's just background, dock. This is the personalization section here. The notification, search, yeah, this is, you could personalize machine. but it's not categorized under personalization like it is on Windows. So, we're going to now take a look at macOS settings. So, I'm going to go ahead and go over. So, on macOS, it's not called settings. It's called system preferences. And I think that's a good name. It's just, the logo just seems boring. Like, really boring. It's different than other operating systems. Like Windows is like a fancy gear. And then over here, it's like a fancy gear over there. But this is just like, blah. So, we have all of our categories over here. And in Catalina, they just added the Apple ID, all of the stuff here. So, that's the stuff. So, we have Touch ID, users, groups, all this stuff that you can connect to your MacBook, but we do not have an Apple keyboard, so that's of no use. Now, I would say system preferences is not very user-friendly. So, the biggest problem about macOS is that macOS is you can't see this operating system. It's like you cannot see the details of your Intel Core processor. Even if you go to About This Mac and you go, it says Intel Core i5, but no generation. You see Windows, well, let's go ahead and see what Windows says. I bet it's going to be super in-depth. So let's see System. Let's go to About. Okay, so Intel Core i5 4300U. Why can't macOS just say that? And Windows says i5 4300 CPU, all of this product ID stuff, and it's so in depth. And it's like processor. That's all. That's all they tell you. And it's like RAM. The macOS tells you more about RAM, but as far as everything else goes, Windows blows it away. And Windows is just the in-depth, like, all info operating system. Ubuntu's like the programmer's crash course. It's like you can program Ubuntu straight from your computer. It's all like that, except the personalization isn't really that great. So I would say Windows won the fight with settings. So, Windows also has Control Panel, and it's better than settings, but I'm not going to go over that, because it's basically the same thing as settings. So, let's close the stuff up here. Now, we have one more thing to talk about here before we conclude this video. So, we're going to go ahead, and we're going to look at the app stores. So, Windows has Microsoft Store. And macOS has App Store, and Ubuntu has just Ubuntu software. So, let's look at Ubuntu software first. So, we're going to go ahead and turn the cam over here. So, you can see Ubuntu software launching right now. So, here it is. And you can see VLC player up there. So Ubuntu just gives you suggestions up at the top. So we're going to go ahead and launch App Store here. And we're going to launch Microsoft Store. So you can see that all of these app stores are quite similar. So I'm going to give you a quick pan around. So that's Ubuntu. Now we have Windows. I see it's a bit hard to see because of the light, so I'm going to turn it a bit. There, okay, you can see now better. Now we're going to take a look at macOS over here. So you can see that macOS has the same top bar thing, except the big new applications have their own big thing. And it's just like small tiles in the editor's picks section on Ubuntu. And it's the same way on Windows with the whole like new applications have the thing like this is the 365 and all this stuff. So that's like what they're very similar. So like Mail Spring is a mail application, and over here we have like great apps for dark mode, yes, all this stuff. So, there's a lot of similarity in these app stores. So, the only real difference is it's all installed updates bar. That's very, very different from other things. So, over here we have home, gaming, entertainment. We have entertainment here, we have productivity, and we have over here deals, like so. Now we go back over here. So yeah, but Ubuntu has all installed updates way at the top. So the install tab shows all the things that you have installed, like Grub, GNU, and all this other stuff. So updates is all the updates for your applications. So there's no updates right now, but there's no updates over here. There's a gift card symbol there, and there's no updates here that I'm aware of. Otherwise, I'd get a notification. So Windows is known for throwing updates at you and making everything bug out. But today, it's not doing that. No other operating system is known for that reason. Just Windows. Windows gives you notifications all day. It alarms you off about activation. It tells you to buy Office. It tells you to, purchase Audacity or something. And Audacity's right here, except Ubuntu doesn't want you to purchase it. I bet Adobe wants you to purchase it. And hey, it's Shortcut. Haven't heard of that in a while. It's a video editing software that's very expensive. So, we're now going to conclude this video, and we've finished talking about the app stores. So, remember, this is not the end. This is not the end. So, we'll be back for a second part after I finish uploading this nearly 35-minute video here. So, get crossed for the next video of advanced features. So, if you're like a really programmer type of person, then you'll really want to watch this next video, not this one. If you're like a beginner to stuff, then I feel like you want to watch this one. So, the new video will be out soon. Oh my god. See, macOS doesn't want you to... Just a second. I need to shut down the computer and it's not allowing me to do so. Okay, so that is the end of our beginners our beginners thing. So we're gonna power it off, and then we're going to, and then like an hour later, I'll finish the upload, and then I'll get on to the next video. So that was a long video. Goodbye.